I'm CMcGee, and this is a brief presentation on the culture of Wales. The official flag of Wales, as seen here, is a red dragon on a white and green background. The two official languages of Wales are Welsh and English. While English can be used in all situations, Welsh is used in specific situations as defined by the Welsh legislature. Almost everyone in Wales can speak English, but less than 30% of the population speaks Welsh at varying degrees of proficiency. Welsh is one of the oldest living languages in Europe. Welsh originates from the Celtic language spoken by the ancient Britons. Before the Roman invasion, Celtic languages were spoken across Europe as far as Turkey. Celtic language came to Britain around 600 BC, with one version evolving into Brythonic, which formed the basis of Welsh, Cornish, and Breton. Welsh spoken in the Middle Ages between 1000 and 1536 became known as Middle Welsh. From the 12th century on, Middle Welsh formed the basis for one of the most famous manuscripts of its time in Britain, the Mabinogion, a collection of prose stories inspired by early storytelling. Welsh was also an administrative language used by the higher classes in the governing of their lands. The Welsh language suffered a major blow in 1536 under King Henry VIII's Act of Union. He destroyed the administrative status of Welsh by banning the use of the Welsh language in the courts and government offices. At the same time, there was a cultural shift taking place among Welsh gentry in South Wales. It became fashionable to embrace the English language and to follow English customs. Welsh was still spoken among the general population, and its customs and traditions continued in the rural areas of Wales. Another major challenge to the Welsh language came in the 18th century with the influx of English speakers into South Wales, largely brought about by the effects of the Industrial Revolution. In this era of great migration, English quickly became the common language of Welsh cities. In the 19th century, the Welsh language did not benefit from increasing literacy levels among the general population. While children were required to attend school, Welsh was not part of the curriculum they studied. Finally, in the 20th century, there was a growing recognition that the Welsh and the Welsh speakers were discriminated against. In 1942, the Welsh Courts Act ushered a new law allowing Welsh to be used in the courts. Then came the Welsh Language Act of 1967, which gave the Welsh language equality as an administrative language in the courts, both written and spoken. This act marked a pivotal moment when the prejudices ushered in during the Tudor period began to be reversed. Today, the Welsh language is embraced and spoken in homes and workplaces, in community centers and courts. Road signs feature Welsh and English wording. Before the Roman occupation, the dominant religion in Wales was a pagan one, led by the Druids. There are still many preserved Druid burial sites throughout Wales. Christianity was introduced through the Romans. The Presbyterian Church of Wales is the largest denomination in Wales. Although most people don't openly practice a religion, the majority of the Welsh call themselves Christian. And while there are few church-goers, Wales is a nation of churches and chapels. The picture on the left is a church in Anglesey that is for sale right now. Throughout Wales, churches are under renovation to become condominiums, homes, businesses, museums, and government offices. Wales is often referred to as the land of song. Its popular culture is rooted in vocal music, particularly choral singing involving multiple parts and complex harmonies. Boys' choirs have a long history in Wales. A few years ago, the Welsh boys' choir, called Only Boys Allowed, won third place in Britain's Got Talent. Wales holds international festivals for choral singing groups all over the world. The Welsh National Opera is highly regarded, and rock music has seen a resurgence in Wales and has contributed a movement called Cool Cymru. Welsh language recordings by rock groups have become popular throughout Britain and abroad. Traditional Welsh food has roots in poverty. Dishes usually have limited ingredients and are designed to use scraps so that nothing is wasted. Bad y Brith is a speckled yeast bread made with dried fruit. It is used for daily tea time. Cawl is a Welsh stew made with lamb, onions, potatoes, leeks, and carrots. Welsh rarebit is a traditional Welsh dish made with a spicy sauce of melted cheese and various other ingredients and served hot over slices of toasted bread. No one is certain where the name came from, but Welsh rarebit contains no rabbit. Creamy goat cheeses are very popular in the mountains and hills of Wales where sheep and goats graze. Caerphilly is a mild, crumbly white cheese which originated in South Wales and is the best known of the Welsh cheeses. Pubs. Welsh pubs are centers of social activity. Drinking in local pubs is a national pastime in Wales. Beer is the staple drink. According to recent statistics, Wales has more binge drinking than any other part of the UK. Welsh English linguistic features. The most general feature of Welsh English is the lilting intonation at the end of statements. In standard British English you would say, "It's no longer valid," but in Welsh English you would say, "It's no longer valid." Welsh English also uses the multiple negative. "We don't speak no English at home." Them acts as a demonstrative adjective. Them men who sing so well. Fronting is very common in Welsh grammar. With fronting, the important information stands first and the less important part of the sentence follows. Coal they were getting out. Singing they were. Coming home tomorrow, Johnny is. My last example of Welsh English dialect is the expletive there is, which is similar to the use of how in standard English. Instead of saying, "How tall you are," a Welsh speaker would say, "There's tall you are." Instead of saying, "How young she looks," a Welsh speaker would say, "There's young she looks." In Wales, both Welsh and English are taught in schools. In 2007, the Welsh government published a Welsh medium education strategy, which was aimed at improving the teaching and learning of Welsh throughout the country. It drew on earlier versions to create a bilingual Wales. As a result, all children attending schools in Wales learn Welsh from age 7 to 16. There are 5 different types of primary schools that parents can choose from. First, there's the Welsh medium primary schools. In this kind of school, Welsh is the main language of the curriculum and 70% of the teaching is in Welsh. Then there are the dual stream primary schools. Welsh medium and English medium teaching exist side by side, and children are placed in either the Welsh or the English stream. Next is the transitional primary schools. Teaching is mainly in Welsh in the foundational stages. That would be like kindergarten and first grade to us. And starting at Key Stage 2, which would be equal to second grade, Welsh and English are used with a greater emphasis on Welsh. There are 2 types of English medium primary schools. In the first, English is the predominant language, and Welsh is used 20 to 50% of the time. And in the second English medium primary school, English is the main language, and Welsh is taught as a second language. In the secondary schools, Welsh is taught as a language, and some subjects are taught through the medium of Welsh. As you can imagine, there is a tremendous amount of effort put into teaching Welsh. Teachers go through rigorous training to become better Welsh speakers, and there are adult classes in Welsh everywhere. It is the goal of the Welsh government for 1 million people of Welsh descent to speak and write Welsh fluently by the year 2050. These are my references, which I would be happy to share with you upon request. Thank you very much.